What if I told you that a single dad's worst day could turn into his greatest miracle? Picture this, a man fleeing a bombed interview in tears, only for the billionaire CEO to sprint after him, shouting his name. It's the kind of story that restores your faith in humanity, and it's all true, inspired by real-life twists of fate. If this hooks you, smash that like button right now and subscribe for more heartwarming tales that prove kindness can change everything. Hit that bell icon too, so you never miss an upload. Now, let's dive into the story of Alex Thompson, the single dad who thought his dreams were shattered, until they weren't. Alex Thompson wiped the sweat from his brow as he stared at the towering glass skyscraper in downtown Seattle. It was a crisp autumn morning in 2025, the kind where the wind carried a bite that matched the knot in his stomach. At 32, Alex was a widower, raising his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, all on his own. His wife, Sarah, had passed away 2 years earlier from a rare form of cancer, leaving him with a mountain of medical bills, a rundown apartment, and a heart that felt perpetually broken. He'd been a promising software engineer once, but grief had derailed him, late nights at the hospital, then endless days juggling freelance gigs and parenthood. Now, unemployment checks were running dry, and Lily's asthma was flaring up again, demanding medications he could barely afford. This interview at Technova, the tech giant led by billionaire CEO Elias Harlan, was his last shot. Technova wasn't just any company, it was the innovator behind life-changing apps and AI that powered half the world's devices. Alex had applied for a mid-level developer position, one that promised stability, health insurance, and enough salary to maybe enroll Lily in that after-school art program she dreamed about. He'd practiced for weeks, reciting answers in the mirror while Lily giggled from her bed. "Daddy, you sound like a robot," she'd say, her big blue eyes, the same as Sarah's, sparkling with innocence. But Alex knew the stakes: fail here, and they'd be facing eviction notices by Christmas. As he stepped into the sleek lobby, Alex adjusted his second-hand suit, the one with a faint coffee stain he'd tried to hide. The receptionist smiled politely, but he could feel the judgment in her glance. Up on the 20th floor, the interview room was a sterile white space with a long table and 3 stern-faced panelists, 2 HR reps and the head of engineering, a no-nonsense woman named Carla. "Mr. Thompson," Carla began, scanning his resume. "Tell us about your experience with cloud architecture." Alex's mind went blank. He'd prepped this, but suddenly, images of Lily's last asthma attack flooded in, the wheezing, the rush to the ER, the bills piling up. He stammered, mixing up AWS with Azure, fumbling over basic concepts. The questions kept coming: algorithms, problem-solving scenarios, behavioral hypotheticals. Each one felt like a punch. When they asked about his gap in employment, he choked up explaining Sarah's illness. I had to be there for her, and then for our daughter." The room fell silent, awkward. Carla nodded sympathetically, but her eyes said it all: not a fit. By the end, Alex was sweating through his shirt, his answers a jumbled mess. "Thank you for your time," Carla said coolly, extending a hand. Alex mumbled a goodbye and bolted for the elevator, tears stinging his eyes. In the lobby, he pushed through the revolving doors and into the rain-slicked street, the weight of failure crashing down. He slumped against a lamppost, sobs racking his body. "How am I going to tell Lily?" he whispered to himself. People hurried by, umbrellas up, oblivious to the man breaking apart. This was it, the end of hope. Or so he thought. Up in his corner office, Elias Harlan watched the interview feed on his monitor. At 55, Harlan was a self-made billionaire, his fortune built from a garage startup that revolutionized data storage. But success hadn't come easy. He'd lost his own family young, parents in a car accident, leaving him to raise a younger sister who later battled addiction. Harlan was known as ruthless in boardrooms, but those close to him knew the truth. He was a softie for underdogs, quietly funding scholarships and rehab centers. Today, he wasn't supposed to oversee interviews, but something about Alex's application had caught his eye, the raw honesty in the cover letter mentioning his daughter's drawings as his inspiration engine. As the interview played out, Harlan leaned forward, frowning. Alex was bombing, sure, but there was a spark, creative problem-solving buried under nerves, a passion for coding that shone through the stutters. And when Alex mentioned his wife, Harlan's chest tightened. He remembered his sister's struggles, how he'd failed her once by being too focused on work. "Damn it," he muttered, slamming his fist on the desk. The panel wrapped up, and Harlan saw Alex flee on the security cams. Without thinking, he grabbed his coat and sprinted for the elevator, his assistant yelling after him. "Mr. Harlan? Your meeting." The elevator dinged too slowly. Harlan burst into the lobby, dodging employees, and shoved through the doors. Rain pelted his face as he scanned the street. There, Alex, hunched over, walking away. "Hey! Thompson! Wait!" Harlan shouted, breaking into a run. Pedestrians stared at the billionaire in his tailored suit, sprinting like a madman, tie flapping wildly. Alex froze, turning slowly. Was this a joke? The CEO, Elias Harlan himself, skidded to a halt, breathless, rain soaking his silver hair. "Mr. Thompson. Alex, don't go. Please." Alex wiped his eyes, confusion mixing with embarrassment. "Sir? I bombed that interview. I'm sorry, Harlan held up a hand, catching his breath. "Bombed? Maybe technically. But I saw something else. Come back inside. Let's talk. Really talk." Reluctantly, Alex followed, dripping water across the marble floors. In Harlan's office, a warm space with family photos and a massive window overlooking the city, they sat. Harlan poured coffee, no assistants, just two men. "Tell me about Lily," he said simply. "The dam broke." Alex poured out his story, Sarah's diagnosis, the endless chemo sessions, holding her hand as she slipped away. Lily's birth had been a joy, but now, with asthma attacks and no insurance, every day was a battle. Freelance work dried up, interviews went nowhere because who hires a guy with emotional baggage? "I just want to give her a normal life," Alex choked out. "But I keep failing." Harlan listened, really listened, his own eyes misting. "I get it," he said quietly. "My sister, she needed me, and I was too busy building this empire. She overdosed 5 years ago. I thought money would fix everything, but it doesn't. Heart does." He paused, leaning back. "You're not a failure, Alex. You're a fighter. That code sample in your portfolio? Brilliant. The nerves? Understandable. But I see potential." Alex blinked. "What are you saying?" "I'm offering you the job. But more than that, mentorship. We'll cover Lily's medical needs through our employee program. And if you're up for it, let's build something together. A project for families like yours, maybe an app for tracking kid health, with AI alerts." It was too much. Alex's tears returned, but this time, they were relief. "Why me? You don't even know me." Harlan smiled faintly. "Because I was you once. Broke, alone, doubting. Someone gave me a chance. Now it's my turn." The next few weeks blurred into transformation. Alex started at Technova, not as a mid-level dev, but on a special team under Harlan's wing. The pay was life-changing, enough to move to a cozy house with a yard for Lily. Her asthma meds arrived via company delivery, and she even got enrolled in art classes, where she drew pictures of Daddy's new boss friend. But challenges lingered. Alex's first project hit snags, imposter syndrome crept in, whispering he didn't belong. Colleagues whispered about the CEO's pet project. One night, after a late bug-fixing session, Alex broke down in the empty office. Harlan found him, working late himself. Doubting again, the CEO asked, sitting down. Yeah. What if I let you down? Harlan chuckled. Kid, life's about messing up and getting back up. Remember that interview? Worst day ever, right? Led to this. Trust the process. Inspired, Alex pushed through. The app, Lily's Guardian, they called it, launched 6 months later. It used AI to monitor symptoms, connect parents to doctors, even predict flare-ups. Download soared, especially among single parents. Reviews poured in, saved my son's life. Finally, someone gets it. Lily thrived too. At her 7th birthday party, surrounded by new friends, she hugged Harlan. Uncle Elias, thank you for chasing Daddy. The billionaire, usually stoic, teared up. As for Alex, he found love again, not romance, but self-love, and a bond with Harlan that felt like family. They'd grab coffees, share stories of loss and redemption. You didn't just give me a job, Alex said one day. You gave me hope. Harlan nodded. And you reminded me why I built this company. Not for billions, for moments like this. Years later, Alex stood on a stage at Technova's annual conference, sharing his story. I bombed an interview and left in tears. But a billionaire sprinted after me. That act of kindness changed everything. If you're struggling, hold on. Your miracle might be one chase away. The audience erupted in applause. Backstage, Harlan clapped him on the shoulder. Proud of you, son. And so, Alex's life became a testament. Rock bottom isn't the end, it's where comebacks begin. In a world of closed doors, sometimes, someone sprints to open one. If this story touched you, remember, kindness ripples. Share it, live it. And hey, if it inspired you even a little, like this video and subscribe for more tales of triumph. Who knows? Your story might be next.